Once upon a time, in a world that was blinded by the sparkle of the new and the polish of the perfect, there lived a man whom history would remember as the King of Dust. But before he was a king, he was a joke, a punchline whispered at cocktail parties, a cautionary tale told by fathers to their sons about what happens when you lose your mind. A quiet reminder of how misunderstood a true success mindset can be. His name was Elias. Elias lived in a bustling industrial city in the mid-1950s, a time when factories smoked day and night and the world was obsessed with building bigger, faster, and stronger things. It was an era of giants. Men with oil on their hands and millions in their pockets ruled the streets. They competed for skyscrapers, for railroads, and for diamond mines. But Elias was different. While everyone else was looking up at the sky, dreaming of building towers, Elias was looking down at the ground, already practicing long-term thinking in a world addicted to speed. The story truly begins on a humid Tuesday afternoon at the Grand City Auction House. The room was thick with the smell of expensive cigars and old leather. The city's wealthiest tycoons sat in velvet chairs, bidding on estates, fleets of ships and steel mills. Millions of dollars were changing hands in seconds. The air buzzed with greed and power. Then came the final item of the day, lot number 77. The auctioneer cleared his throat, looking almost embarrassed to present it. "Ladies and gentlemen," he stammered, "our final lot is the abandoned disposal grounds of the old Zenith Silver Refinery. It includes 10 acres of land and, well, the industrial sludge pile remaining thereon." The room went silent. Then a ripple of laughter broke out. This wasn't a property, it was a garbage dump. It was a massive, foul-smelling swamp of black mud and chemical waste where the old silver factory had dumped its trash for 40 years before going bankrupt. It was toxic, it was ugly, it was worthless, at least to those without a wealth mindset. "Do I hear $100?" the auctioneer asked weakly. "I wouldn't take it if you paid me," shouted a banker from the front row, causing the room to erupt in laughter again. But in the back of the room, a hand went up. It was Elias. He was wearing a suit that was 10 years out of style, and his face was worn with worry. "I bid $5,000, Elias said. His voice trembled, but his eyes were steady. The room froze. $5,000 was a fortune for a common man back then. It was Elias's life savings. It was his house, his car, and his rainy day fund all wrapped into one check, a decision that only long-term thinking could justify. The auctioneer slammed the gavel down before Elias could change his mind. "Sold to the crazy man in the back." As Elias walked up to sign the papers, the whispers began. "He's lost it. That mud is poisonous. He's just bought his own grave." Even his own wife, when she found out, packed her bags. She couldn't understand why her husband would trade their security for a literal pile of dirt. For the next 5 years, Elias disappeared from society. He moved into a small, leaky shack right next to his mountain of black sludge. The smell was unbearable. The rain turned the land into a dark, sticky soup. Passers-by would see him out there, day after day, digging with a shovel, filling buckets with the black ooze and carrying them into a makeshift laboratory he had built in the shack. He looked like a mad scientist, a familiar image in every great moral story ever told. People stopped laughing and started pitying him. They saw a broken man moving dirt from one pile to another. "Poor Elias," they would say. "He bought what others threw away, and now he is trapped in it." But they were wrong. Elias wasn't trapped. He was hunting. You see, Elias knew something the rest of the world was too arrogant to notice. He had studied the history of the old Zenith silver refinery. He knew that 50 years ago, the technology for mining silver was primitive. The old machines were inefficient. When the factory crushed the rocks to get the silver, they only caught the big chunks. The microscopic silver dust, the fine particles, slipped right through the cracks and was washed out into the waste pipe. For 40 years, that factory had unknowingly pumped millions of dollars worth of microscopic silver dust into the mud outside their back door. Value ignored by those without patience or a success mindset. The world saw waste. Elias saw a bank vault that no one had the combination to. But knowing it was there and getting it out were two different things. This was the part of the story that nearly broke him. For 3 years, Elias failed. He tried to wash the mud, burn the mud, sift the mud. Nothing worked. The silver was too fine, mixed too deeply with the toxic chemicals. He ran out of food. He burned his furniture for heat in the winter. There were nights he lay on the floor of his shack, coughing from the chemical fumes, wondering if the neighbors were right. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe he had thrown his life away for nothing but dirt. But one cold November night, in the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, Elias tried a new chemical mixture. And when it was all over, when the world finally noticed him, Elias left behind more than silver. He left behind a moral story etched into time, that vision beats noise, that patience beats speed, that real wealth belongs to those who can wait, endure, and see what others refuse to notice. That man was crazy. That man was a genius. But above all, that man proved that vision is not about seeing things as they are, it is about seeing things as they can be.